ansa NPP communication team no wodi mu akotini ye pa
this challenge call you on Christmas challenge so thank you very much
Sinti enano pe omo na bekan se ye hwe kwan se ya osompa ebeba na fe his excellency Sampiale nso ababeka na fe bibia ye complete na ya shache na ya bo adwuma na ye bekọ ama no so enche bia na ye ne political science lectures bi so edi nkomo ade afade a esie omrahye bedwuma ne sunsunso a enya ewo omrahye bedwa adwuma omo ye so ene de ebetumi de aba ebinum say we are in constitutional crisis ebinum say antisa ebinum say two Supreme Court wo no say do dey adwuma no akame say oya share parliament so parliament de no ho Supreme Court so de no ho enti sanhwe ya Supreme Court nema omo ye no ochina bi obi enso betumi asora aka say parliament ayi ade we menti ase monfa monsa Supreme Court monfa monsa nto so na say abiribia no na say obi abetumi asoro akọ Supreme Court say parliament ayi ade we n'enye ho parliament asigina we n'enye ho ana say speaker asigina we n'enye ho nti ade a ebetumi de ahawaba ana ebi no so kran post say na Supreme Court ye na eda Supreme Court judges no so ombeje vetting awo parliamentarians no nti so ba vetting na so one approve so ensem bebrinti no ye bedi ano so nkomosan say me de kanka no yasema de ehu hia yi papa na ye hwe nti na ansa na ye benya empanyifo a ye benya omo ahoma no so no ye hye konhwehwe na se na ye hwe se ni site Solomon Michel se frefre so we neutral muni parliamentarian bia the issue of parliament decision speaker fire take ye ura for your market so court Supreme Court so gina see ye back to parliament ye majority munya minority ehun sem ho ye na asefo ene bebi aba no ma mi ti wadwenkyere won besimadu
Better say na benchia movement for change for nyina oral and chamante so de chiewu ema ene asante mantem wa ma ho ya kono a dodo na ye o madwen se o meto aba na man Ghana fa ne nyina so oni da so ane oral kwadwo chamante dokura obni se de esi wo parliament ana se esi no e match ado aba nothing me fi se benu aba na school nkofo na atu mfuturo gu nkofo ani a amama na ye se BBS
ade ntina kasa
enra na yifufu a enenso yifufu asema yeken only 4 years ago and a speaker professor osaya professor Michael Kwe ede ehun sunsun so betuja me ka say MP before ko Supreme Court no bente se omo ankasa trauma Ghana for ase se omo article 391 a chese se woye wadwene kra se okwa akọ support obi a woye independent candidate anase owo party fufurum other than se party na nkasa ewo obi a o contest o seat a ye you free party no sa provision o maka kire se no and void omo ganjere na kire se ye adwuma in the year 2020 abra na John Bodu e tro sakrata na koma speaker Okwe no okotu sa provision no ena no pe abedu a me pese me double sure no me san so kokohe se o mo amend sa provision article 391 of MBB's constitution say yes ye free ho na me ko e bo ho pampe
omunyi free ho
and the me no ka say me am tie me a victim of that because the moment I may imagine say me do roll and chamantage me here obi aso ba be ka kire me say me nka party no bi automatic and indeed and only where that work constitution say automatic and indeed General Secretary John Boyd Chokoma Parliament as Speaker Okwe ejina so any article 97 H&J edeka say yenua esiama on fan seat nyede ento na invie na echi niaba wo de yenyi wo ma makare kra ensin chani emfa siama nko a the same siama say me na me tem ho ara me call as content grow and ye me free me say back to the MPP no na ye yusu sa mara we are near the declare vacant ya say ya sankofo na call parliament near declare sa seat no vacant say David nya sa na tie David nyasa mo de mu ne wo hwe mo adwene mu na ho ye ne nkwa ne ye te brofo ye kirase eno nti de esi anura no ye fi se ene de o se sonko we ya temdidie mo adwene eni se wo soso esa nkofo betena kromu na ya mo se o mo ye smart se obi a eni se akikire o mansa speaker de o ye ya wo ka se esia ma seat no e vacant no ene the position ene no kure no na MPP for na ya we say no the kure no
so mo say if previous the dikan mo kan wasam in fact your doctor Amache Buatin so ahoma no so enche ye de ne babanti doc we de wada roma me mama sulu akasa brief na fe ma ba so na fe ye ti wo so adwenche wo de ekoso nyina ho ye hwe MPP for asem mo kan say wo owura nunyafo sia ma de na wo kan no wo nunyafo Michael Kwe Professor Michael Kwe abreso no party ni twere letter e de command Speaker of Parliament but this time around no party and twere letter and fan command Speaker of Parliament enti no letter bia ma ye fi party no e kire say asemese na so benten o kan ho na so kan ho ana bibia ti sa
e Jacob na wo ze me ka se hwe no wa mangofo bia nye o madwen so mo ye smart esa no a na ye ne ye ti ase adwene wo fom e himfa na wo MPP constitution we kire say answer de be ka so obi every party ye twere letter command ena no ntia na general secretary na beka so ho sinado e ohini nto ya aboabia samoa ene Boniface Abubakar the moment omuka so omni ala na ikone automatic win party because a constitutional provision and I agree so wunya kase say in fact me no kase abrantie bi okofiase a polling station e o mampo orala nchemanti du asantema ntem go kwakwa campaign abrantie no kokko postu ne flyer keke e ma suspend mo letter wa. It is in line with the party's constitution.
Oko show Alan.
Well, Alan Flyer say or be a caravan tour. I was sentiment then post you on the status.
Or to the status.
Status. Party for to be picky almost screenshot here no. Yamano suspension letter. Sir,
say or they Alan
absolutely.
To the full.
And I'm all letter so ha. You know, Wilfred and different bomb. Make us say what here. Our party no officially. Ma bongo zozi or ma suspended because party they say or promote candidate other than their candidate. Need na constitutional provision. Na that way they be do and there ye young phobia or more on besom dada ya juna na and trauma ni media or say media for the start kwa you mama say aye ye na nyamo gwa na juna mutirim enu ti da ye nokre ene ndo me no ka say Cynthia Morrison ene oboafo kodwa sante omo nkan bibi ho and indeed eno tira oboafo kodwa sante be ka kire wo say abra wo yes o ko independent lot of file ye ni free platform grow also officer na bibi fo committee me for oboafo kodwa sante na common sense will tell you say papa yi wo constituency so sum se sie yi okọ so okọ campaign no ono no ho be campaign amano bibi fo ni candidate o tell that aka say na so a member of your party na chese no krebi ananye dey and did Ghana for nyina ntiase matter do about na te omo dada mo adwene no kuro wo mne say 4 seats ni vacant chesi ano ye NDC na ye say majority na MPP minority but me whether will be a majority minority and boy because me be no pay series to the dollar na that say 16 na this later 14.95 later a gallon no almost 65 cedis water turbidity no that say 14,000 NTU LI 2462 o mampani hwe nyame anim ne MPC G2 mu a ye kosan ya na 390,000 hectares of our forest cover ya sign no e da so ho me no ka say e mebu na nya adwumanye e na wonu say national service ye bu the tot oko this week na what na fie next week wa kotwa we no man ya tia na obi de man ho kwasafo hene me ye majority me ye minority je munu ngwa
meba so bio meba na yen kwa homa no so ne Dr. Amache Buatin ni komo kakran fa nsam a ye discuss ho Dr. Amache Buatin senior political science lecturer awo KNUST doc anope wada roma memo ache eda wase no mre
yenia
we dey me da sina solo kasansa na ba mutira medile wo kakran we dey ye di komadi afa dey see our parliament no yen hwe bebia ifrin bebia babidru on my constitution ayem rapon man ye de chichiro man se bo man no bra e kire se otumi non party mienu e man nyeye waka ne clear political parties so no won so mo na kire se se wotwe wo ho every party no so kodon party fofora wonye party no automatically bofkasa ne automatically wa free party ni mu se wotwe wo free party no so kogire sa content kura automatically watwe wo free party ni ho sa party ahodo mienu NDC ni MPP ye hunu mo nkrofo a obi a so ko independent ene ehun sama asorsore se we say majority we say we minority we say me minority da me still am a majority we say obo am a majority.
Hello
doc mpacho temenka.
Hello
doc temenka. Hello doc me pacho ebia wo no so we be one mute na so we betumi aye makabeda wase. Okay ye hwe sense betumi aka doc bioa na ya to aye nkomo twetwe no so na ya bisa no na onso de na dwenkyere tumi aba se de be ya ye be hunu wo na ekire politics na ye bisa se constitution a ye parties in constitution na one interesting thing is say party bia constitution no so no ene oman the constitution no enam de kwanso pepepe untumi kwa constitution bia ene Ghana constitution no susu ndem dabi the oman the constitution tie no eno so na party so hwe e de ono so no constitution nti e bebisa questions be bre osase mo sanse so oman the constitution so to be no parties mienu at the same time there ene na wo mo independent na still yes wo mo san ye party for no what does that mean? Okay doc ya da say ahoma no yi kakra. Hello doc.
Yes, me too.
Aha. Na me bisa say wo hwe man constitution a kire say to be non party mienu at the same time ama ni nyeye. Sanso na political parties no constitution kire say wo to me non party mienu ama ni nyeye. NDC ni MPP MPs so am kway independent ho asema sora ye ho me pa cho wa bin e wa manuse mu no sansem yi ete usan
damase e wa kwanya ina mechia atifo sankomo ye hwe politics and institutions nti in this particular case I an interesting debate. Lawyers bam no maka omo de na emrano political science nso ebam no mo so aka nti the young political science I say yenti asia ne say constitution no ewo ho ena ama akwanya ama amanyosem a ekoso o man Ghana nyina no eda ne ho adi nti politics manifest in the constitutional framework na say the constitution no ama kwan a ye sha se free 1993 abeto ne no san koma yedi yetri say ebi asi pen sa constitution no esi Emma, the politics that ensued at that time. And when you were a now can. What political scientists will look at is that constitutional provision, a common sense interpretation and a back home. One, it is not looking at the future. And you're futuristic. Because we admit time. Omo look at that particular provision from a future perspective. They are admitting time in their analysis. Time is so a variable. Until what the time will why introduce what we call biases into the analysis? And so we say you are political. Why introduce biases? And then, in the same vein, they also introduce what I call motives. Because one kind of intent. Ure siama ni intention no ene se free the content chrono original name se obetu aba on obame atu aba mano on the ticket of the MPP, Kusi Koda. And Sana Ibeto Abama on the ticket of the MPP, you got to become a member of the party. And so that provision, from a political science perspective, will not look at the motive. What is your locus in parliament now, today? What is it? Uresiama. Any plan be said. The last time round, party no track kata eko kan say. Party no choose anamon. This time round, a member of parliament at parliament again akọ in the parliament no one bit me to anamon a verify say sanetia now with the electoral commission. The constitution does not necessarily say that. I will say obi say. It should be possible to establish for a fact, say, nipa no etu anamon bi a affected woman locus in parliament. Nti,
Doc, ofia MPC a said they are working na mona woman ofia wometu anamon bi a affected woman stand and asa omugina bre na sebedwam pe they are working. Esan say they kan no so the letter call. Ano esiama de no obefo makuku time. We almost let it be anko into nya do bia betumi aka but MPP am constitution and kasan so kire say we ye wadwene so bedon party bia and term so na ho na automatically when your party member bio na ewusu Solomon ka say mi say omo member ba ko a owo Asante Mampong owo lunch Kojo Chematin kwakwaye campaign and say okọ work no and ode owura womo flyers ni bi ni status or the telephone status keke ya suspended no because say or they owura Lankojo Chematin picture and say the work no akoto no status nti na che say wo ye campaign ama obi foforo instead of your candidate it is a wo share dia SCA na the toto de no parliament hu na ohunu ni say
sir me can say ejnahoma confusion in the party MPP. In one breath, almost enforce constitutional provision B, party no constitutional provision B. In another breath, they don't enforce it. So Professor Makoke and Tiasia or the boss asking me who and saying he was saying the party cannot be pushed to inform Parliament to say and among we see. Because of that, we can't say that we can establish as a fact to say one more to an amount. Professor Michael Quay, what sort of interpretation is that? Why do we allow your interest to affect our understanding of a constitutional provision? We don't have to allow your interest, so that when it suits you, then you come to Parliament and say, I'm a free party name. When it does not suit you, then you come to Parliament. You don't come at all. Or more to an monocrat will keep quiet. And Professor, okay, in state building, and that is strengthening our Ghanaian political institutions. It be a constitution, yes, it be the main one, a constitution, the major political institution. Our humanity, the main one, a constitution. So let me quickly refer to President Obama coming to Ghana and then talking to Africans that we need strong institutions. One way our institutions are strong and in Kutahu and someone air Kosi and in Kutahu or Maima 80. The constitution should be allowed to be the way it is. Unless say as some provision, it should be allowed to be the way it is. And the politics is this time round shaping and strengthening this particular constitutional provision. That's exactly what Ghanaian politics at this material moment in time relative to this Komoya Yedi. And you know, Senate here, the party cannot in one breath say that your constitution can say due to an among way Alanchamatin, US form, what could you launch the US form, and then in another breath, obi so atu anamon bi sa Cynthia Morrison atu anamon of course on fan ho nkobo ala nchamati otu anamon adom entiase foforo a ode ye na man no sem. She is an independent candidate. Constitution no man kwan emanu etu sa anamon ni gina bia in parliament emra ye kase has been affected. And there are some people who are biased in their understanding and their desire to work with or interpretation of this. And biases, they admit motives, they admit time into it. And these two elements bring in biases. Those people are political, and so they are not helping in the building of institutions. The same constitutional provision will apply in a particular fashion today, and then it will apply differently tomorrow. So that is the understanding from a political science perspective.
Okay. Yeah, say you na the aba parliament no, and so show boy the aba parliament no, and ye wo hu. Say we no say me majority, we say me minority. Per Supreme Court ginesi na wo see ye no. Monti asiemu as political science lecturers and teachers no. Monti asiemu mu no say NDC for na betumi from somewhere majority say and now say MPP for na still not say majority.
Once again, a technical issue. Technical issue in the sense, the pronouncement of Speaker Bagby is critical. In the previous case, the pronouncement of Speaker Michael Quay, critical. Until currently, looking at the way Parliament is, the pronouncement of Speaker Bagby and a hold this way until he comes to say something else. So as we speak now, he has to come, Speaker Bagby, to relate to issue now or make a pronouncement on relative to the Supreme Court's suggestion that the whole thing be, suspended, and today come out with their, if you like, interpretation, authoritative interpretation of Adikronwa. My understanding is that not until such pronouncement, is made, we can't go back to what lawyers will call the status quo ante. I mean, the situation I never answer Bagby pronouncement, urban.
Now,
the Supreme Court pronouncement is binding, all right. But then it has to be actualized through the actions and inactions of the Speaker.
Okay.
It has to be actualized through that. It has not yet been actualized.
Ebinimo kase Speaker kure need to me say obetumi I declare seats vacant. One more kasa no mo ya adwene mane ye.
Well, like I said earlier on, we have politics and the constitution, and for that matter, institution. Ordinarily, the institutions should be crystal clear, not creating some framework now, politics and here. But this is a situation, the institutional provision, and none a technical issue. Some people are saying it should be a high court that should make that declaration. And interestingly, MPP lawyers, and so they say Speaker Okwe was even wrong in making the pronouncement, me, fine, I'm not a lawyer, I will not debate them. My political science, common sense understanding of such provision, Article 97, 1G and H, a presuppose that action is automatic. And the way Parliament works, although yes, it is automatic, its actualization through the actions and inactions of the Speaker. If you tell me, say the Speaker no any standing, as also making those proclamations, I will disagree with you. I will disagree with you. Things don't just happen The constitutional provision can establish a parliament and make sure the parliament here, Jumano, and your human actions, the politics, and you realize everything. And your human actions, and that is the politics. Why are you saying that? Omoko parliamentar speaker no akwanya say obetu anamo we. Na maybe says na affect the life of some individuals in parliament. And they know young high court. The same bias interpretation of that they are confusing themselves. I think we refuse.
Doc, where the Ubegina so kakra me na mesamba na ye behwe internal politics kra ye no. The nam so ma sa parliamentarians say omoko independent no. The mafia in internal politics. Utie suhum MPA. Na some kind say brand name ahodo bi ekoso no o complaining echere party ni mpanyifo say niam we na ekoso kan party na mfi no kopum bra osigina say okọ independent na no platform a owoso as an MP no ye yini fi so enti ene for process ahodo bi mu ene fa obi beka say atiti bi mu na okoduru bebi a waduro no enti internal politics krankasa no. How should they handle issues? Say kobase bia contestant bi anase bia aspirant bi hu say dem be nko ya. How should the party handle it? Na nkofasa independent sem yama.
Ninya Lucia. Hello. Ninya Lucia.
Dwenjere ho ma me kakara me ko benasco so.
Internal politics. Politics. And basically, politics be done in a constitutional framework. Internal politics, driven by the constitution of the MPP. Internal politics, driven by the constitution of the MPP. And the Argentina, one, in the MPP, not long ago, a case with Paula Foko. Yenya a case with Kwabena Japan. Yenya a case with Alan Chematin, Wache Jakon. And cases with several members of parliament. Adentra. Party no fa onwa ni constitution no nyajuma. And so you speak of indiscipline in the party. The party has not been respecting its own constitution. In the absence of that, Odom political party, no jina. Party no enhihye constitution no enhihye bi mu. For example, say ko jinani antoaba mawa, it goes automatically say wonso ajatu say obedi nkunim na say obedi nkugo. Basically nimi enu nantibom obedi nkugo na entotuye ni nyina da ne ho adi wo party kro no anhihye mu a oni asem bia aka na wajatu. Basically in elections odi nkugo a Esa ujitum, you concede defeat. 2. Na onipakono di nkunim no abona baso message of congratulations to you di nkunim no. Basically, these are political procedures. Ema abato the odi nkunim no come out as legitimate. The moment these are missing, what di nkunim there, but there are issues. In almost 10 out of 10 cases, you see that those people, the bigger organization, did not work according to the dictates of their own constitution. In the United States, the year 2000, Al Gore versus George Bush Jr., a similar thing happened. Al Gore felt himself coerced to surrender when he knew he was going to win. If they had counted all the votes at Florida. So when time was against them and the Supreme Court ruled that they should stop counting and simply pronounce whoever and Adin Kunim at that time, and George Bush Jr. happened to be Ubi Awadin Kunim, Al Gore said he disagreed with the Supreme Court but had to accept the verdict. So otherwise there will be constitutional crisis in the United States. Sana Enyema Yite, he went ahead to acknowledge and then concede defeat. So the winner will come out as legitimate as we speak. Donald Trump did not concede elections of 2020. He did not concede for the first time in the political history of the United States of America. Nti abatu mu no enye se wadi nkunimu akeke obi a wadi nkugo no nso position any ni posture eboama abatu onhihye ni nyina koso. That is why we have to play by the rules. Our own constitutions, we must respect them.
Okay. Where the answer media kwama akono. Ebinumu ka say Supreme Court gina say osie ye mfa ne say ye were 3 arms of government. Ye wo amampani aso ye wo mrahye ye wo atemu obi ade ne ho. Na say obako ka asem na so obako nso ade ne netia obako asem aka so a na ayese ne a obako di ne tumi etena obako nso tumi so. Side decision a Supreme Court ye gina say osie ye wo owura gbabe ne sama wo kan no ho na ama bi no adwunu am na enti mo point of view no ene de wo he wo sasam no.
Once again, this sort of apparent conflict between politics and institution, and the Ghana far terrain be more you're familiar with, but as it is in Libya, Ghana will come out stronger. One, the Supreme Court war akwanya say obede assembly dom womu say any provision in the constitution no interpretation no and na hoye obi ko Supreme Court the Supreme Court gitum no ye ho adwuma na the on bit use discretion be say assembly the free parliament na eba nti ye nka ho hwe and na parliament so and over there a politics throughout. A politics, whatever it is, parliamentarians say a politics, political activities, political procedures, political processes, politics. Almost so, idea as a Juma said, Omodino and say, Annie, idea Supreme Court, one more assembly say, but don't one more almost over Casa, Annie. Idea these 2 acts. Obi share will be answer why in a Juma and I say, Omunyanisa. Share will be answer why in a Juma. And I don't see, sir, and Tiasia and Penny was a Supreme Court appears to be imposing itself on the legislature. On the legislature.
Okay.
The judiciary appears to be interfering. I don't see it that way. We have an interesting coincidence. We have an interesting coincidence. To be a Juma. And that is why Mimi Jiri said the actualization of what the Supreme Court has said is critical. And in not until Speaker Bagben has spoken to the issue. The current situation is that MPP, the NDC has the majority.
I see. That is why. That's Papa Doc. And open womre. You say now ko baby will be now so who don't see. Unya brema any edin commando penti. We da sedan e de be ma unya hopo hira bebre ebre pam no obesan atienka. That's Papa. Yo. Dr. Amachibuati a senior political science lecturer awo Kumasi Kwame Nkrumah Suapon wo Kumasi na nopei ode ne mre kakra afam yen ewo de ekoso ewo parliament no ehunti emra back to studio na fe yentu enkomo hwehwe no so Banasco ewa his excellency Sampia lenso abeka yensa your excellency yema akwa that's say waba na Banasco what tie dia prof kan o se se wo hwe mo am constitution no how to apply it in the crown. I say, Mudidi ebinum, Mufeni ebinum. Enti akwa say, you so where the number me kakra. Now, I say, Mumrano, ebinum, a sefat ebinum, and sefat ebinum. I'm on my and Shahu Drobi. She say, you know, Parliament Ginesia was see, so do kind, and now a general. So say, Speaker Besaba, Ababeka be fufro. Most still, most of your majority. 10 minutes, Mamintio.
Eja.
Yes, sir.
Edeka me dasi. Mamintia ashafo nyina.
No ya do so.
Na mintia menu no mo amenu mo hia. Me bra
me brother na me ni onyina okan ho na oja o se we kodi baby ka
cry mo wasa no peltia ye party you pa 5 brain say you also more position mo man he balasco have been when ni
ebre no wokan na me sia ye ni apeni sampia leso na minua am say anopai ma memfa sima binti ade bi mfiri wo me bana woka issues on health ya de a eba no apomodeni wo mesuansem a bebia megine bia no se akonya no wo ho a me de manoto asem a efa hu esan se me mi susua ne madwene mu ne de nipa edikan wapomodeni na ema wutumi koba enda me ne wo nyina wa se ya pom dodo yen na kan tumi ma ha nti ade a nipa apomodeni de o se abrebia no ye hwe se esipi nti me so me de manu betum na masre se bibibia esi ama ndure wo se ye kuyi na ye de ba be som ya manfo na se ye de be pre o mamwonde no aka port no adwebre eye Judiciary ujiji ska de abesom oman na aban no de abo oman no ho bra nti saa so na amanfo no nso eni ho a aban no kra no eni ho na watuma ye bibi nti kwan bia so a Judiciary ene impenifo a eda Ministry of Health miami ni okuboy ene ne keka no beka bom ma sa ndro no yatuma yi ne de aye adwuma no mesre se momhwem yenye no kresem ne se wo ka asem bi na me ne obeya adwene wo kwan bi so se egu aban no ho fi ene de eye no kre na menjin di se yeto sebe me nim the processes nti I won't come and sit here and judge but for medicine of that nature at least me here global health and support systems in the administration of healthcare in individual jurisdictions, you know. I think we because ebedu brebi. Obi antena baby nkese me bedum wedro. Ebedu bebu kitiska kwa kutwa farmer. Yes, I have an understanding of that. Both in my
the we no can no family plan in ro.
Yes.
Now we share $1.6 million in ro and if the West African Health Organization and the United Nations Population fund for when buy
implication
7 months in here.
Yes, implication of minim say no crisis 7 months in that's so nembo me fan said the buy ya be ye hu ewo afidie nkasa mu a me ti bi no from my perspective as both at my master's and my PhD level I did something on health into health system planning and support systems dia mesre so bibia wo hwe me a wo hu tumi se wo do wano tum prekope na ma say ndru yiji ne de kosom ya manfo no for wano tum meyenye esense Judiciary wo digi sky de bebo Ghana man ho bra Ghana man so say Ghana is because of the people in Ghana. It's nothing. It's not the building standing there. And then Ghana Ghana, but a man for a womb. And then my friend will say Ghana for. Inti mesrepa. Let us know. Some of the health institutions and so by be a modern idea no. Your best say some munching ye. Maybe to me because demand receipt. Aspect to be Eastern region wo baby. They were Zambia Echuana Eviato. They were almost getting angry. Mesumen disclose me who nipa me yempo. Till say me friend health director bia ewo ho. And I'm here na me ma nurse ne ba ko so ne nkasa. Before they realize hey, and the nipa e bi onim bibi fa health. What you say? Ye beji usika bi. Oko bisa receipt pe na bufu aba. We list mistake our patient in kwaye mbehwe ni bi.
Our government hospitals.
Our government hospitals. Me krom. Me si supi say ye no kre. But me krom remesi kuma. Me nye complaints from Our Lady of Grace Hospital. So many complaints, but me better hang gumi me feed any say. But any nurse I will yes I didn't be actually because we come at you. True. You can't give a bill of about 900 cedis to a patient when could you now finance for mom ko yen hwehwemu and also to about 120 130. Into number health insurance I cover you now. No was that trauma that poor person. Yeah was say an agrarian community ye ni bimpo na wudu nyansa wo de je no omumu bi so muntumi nkan nti menka say yampa ba me be ba ko efra yipe ne be prime ye de ne ko hospital wo mi fi anim okọ say wo nsani fa so that is where my mother stays omu di ni sika bi na oye ya on of friend say me man sika kakra no fa so ni sika so ntua na me say e wo de en wo si na me say okay o ma me ne nurse ni nkasa nurse ni hu say ya me a call no ma ya asem. You understand? Because when him taking it up, I will stop.
Yes.
I will follow you to the latter. It mesre. I'm not blackmailing my own community. No. Ebia kotume.
our hospital be wo Eastern region ebia to others there so many places obetrama receipt or the mama na say you can't give me the receipt I won't take it. If it is the hospital sending it, it should be Ministry of Health. Who did our hospital? No one can say they American and they are the control ya yeto. Inti mean to me my receipt. And as a receipt I will try and authentic. You best say ye we in area in the Bible say abain so no anyway me anyway anameboa. Eja na member parliament assembly to about me for education we suntum nyame ya adomo a am say school for eba be school. Kwesi ada me sure say by ochina dey ko dey placement no on be release we are Dr. Rikin Cancer and Empower for Minister of Education near the Anjimu. They are working hard. Say they will release it so that students can go to school by maybe Wednesday. No question, Mr. Parents, we are very BEC. You must admit with me, say, unim say obana eden ya free SHC do be kubi. Into normal bakum yunu miensa. You universal items. Trunk in the box. So no go school one to. Oh no, excellency. Say we go school to. Eden ya need the obeden. Obeto. This is no money den what to talk akra. Na and they be a won press who pay fees aban no so to anomo bi amyembo na baso. Yes, people are saying it's political. If it is political, we from the villages it is benefiting us. Free SHS in the increase for no come was my no be nyantokwa because I know abebo ayenfa ekuku nsia wo wabim nti placement so yes wo check here e free this time around here nton obia nti agencies are no more here because it was business for people wo ko 15 cities so say 12 cities now they are check no wo cafe na 25 because we use the internet but na 15 cities wo ko to na nka wa check no ho bia wo ko no question ne se na eboa cause kane no me na o se mitu kwa free tema eko Cape Coast ko Ghana National College ko se medin wo border sa kwantu ne ni wo biem ena nka wo di 15 cities dia check be bia do wato and then aban say eyekwa
me na so 10 minutes no you so
no problem. I think that for purposes of education it is important we do nti eyade a ebeboa no bia so enkeka no na yenyina yemboa ma school ko no engina issues of parliament edikan bra me nua pani eye doctor Amatu Boatin kasa no ka asem so as a constitution no na eye mbrapon na constitution no so no ama yenyina akwanya se anamutu bia yetu bia no sementimi ho ase bia ba eye baabi a ye fra no asemdi bia na ye de kokowie ewo mu se mampanini ewo tumi se nka me ne yato abama me se me president enti Solomon solo ho nya me fe mayino onye Ghana ni na nka wo so tumi ye saa so betuma ga se Jacob na okra wotena UTV a o kasa kra wo ngbo me mampani di na won kamfo me nti saa dia UTV ye ni wadi ofra wo boss so tumi yi wadi immediately o yi wadi na won te ho ase a you have the right to go and seek redress so no kwa hwehwe mu se anyambia asem wo kan yi eto asoma na se ento asomu na saa eto asoma na ento asomu no yemfa sebe patapa anase kukukuku na ye koba bi efra no asem dibia yakwaje nchechire mu eni nti na me wahai minimpa se me ho de che me bro ti me sabe nkumsu kenda ne ho nya me fra me chi na abonten wanam de me ma no pam but me bubo ni saa wi a ye be che me ye che ne ye de me be ko court police for no go need to me kire me say de me bo no eye bone anasa nye bone omu de omu susu ye no meka say ya adwini mu no wabo no nte bone na mbom de obesi gina say bu na mabo no ne bone no eye asemdibia nti number 1 the court has superior jurisdiction over all issues in the country, which is the judiciary, be it interpretation, adjudication, or judgment. I don't know, Mama Fantu was saying that is how it is. Speaker, Asamoah Okayeno, Speaker has the right. Nobody should say so. Nisa to me, no. Over 2 minutes, we'll be making certain pronouncement on the floor of Parliament. Parliamentarians should be binded by it. Sansuna, Afenumakin. And so what to me say, dear who can mean to moi? Mean to me, man, my chong si from the speaker, may be chongabu. Nemo Mausa me kwa sembibia. Embra kunini na constitution na, and when a man speaker to me, no. We should let that be clear. Say speaker, ni to me no and free. It is as a result of something a yen ya tum. Say this is what is binding us, a constitution, and then a man to me no. It is obi to kasa, sa to me na dear mauna. I won't question to and more back this parliament is a matter of its own game. Yes, I can never delegate parliament because I was seeking to go there. I mean, himself one day, the opportunity will come for me to go. But parliament is not also above the laws of the country. Anything I say, parliament to me same baby. anase ye gi bibi tum no bi dia court say samre ya magi de ye challenge embra na ma hye no na court akese me bagu constitution ne amatumi ni obi ade de odi tumi ye it is speaker akasa na se obi fo court na court na yama ne sa tumi no so say speaker de okay ne de yes waka na mbom fatu ho ansa madada na wo ho na engineer na na manya adwuma egosi bri a asem ye de abetu yanim de beka bewie awo say uditum na yewra machi boate asem bi okai I had already written it na me de so so no so goy abo ade ba kwa ye ne yapa woni wiase ma me gidi se enya ade obetumi de ache ne woda say America Supreme Court ye ne sa I had written it obo so na me age pa because no nim se kwa bia so we de kamikunim di aba but Supreme Court ne si bia ye duru bia se de be ya wonto manti infansia dia odi kan ewo bia ya kan ya beduru no ono no ne enye ne mampani say Supreme Court ne kan egbofo na eto aba ne kan. That was the Supreme Court. But I go had to accept it or make a statement be a similar to a statement as you Ghana. I go say, I dear one ye dear Ayamia, now so sembla kunini naka, mititum. Now what you share? But I dare know, maybe say, yeah, can kind. Yeah. Ya can do baby. Yeah. As me see didn't kunim. Okay. And was mentias, one kind in any. Nasa Supreme Court so could you never say. There be send a bear and for how be a mentino. Baby, I can't do the bedding kunim. Night Supreme Court to Genus, and your attention. I will be so as I come here, say, I didn't see it to me a few soon in every. Yes. I see it a bit, but yes, I got me no yagging. If I say Supreme Court in a case, Indian finance, I know yagging. But funny say attention. And it is a check when I come fear, or say a coin the attendant, a fall fear to everyone. Now we am just okay. Now, the dog go for me candidate in specific, 13th August 2013. Supreme Court my verdict, no, then do. Also, I do not accept the ruling of the Supreme Court. However, I accept it. I accept it because on him said to me, I dear say Supreme Court said, "Wo, pen and what to me say Obeka said." When now, I do Kunima and I say, when I no crown, I say you interpreted law no every no, and the Supreme Court on Kwan. Fine, nobody are gone. In my case, me also a bayamia. By the end of the day, ye na no the aja to say Sambra Kunini Batan ye the bayaduma. I guess I go be a better if you know why and mra, not the yaduma. I didn't know wow no. Say well in other jurisdiction. Oh, okay, so because school no man for now quiet to me do kotum. Say ke wow ba. And I say wow ba when why fe pa nka won no. But here we are abiding by the laws, not that we like the laws. And that is one thing which should be explicit. We all abide by the laws, not that we like every law that comes or every interpretation of the law that comes. No. Ye nyina ye gitum say some brain ya sesama ye ho. Membom emra na ye nyina ye sesama ye ho no ema ye ntiremu say edubre bi na da reba ewo asem bi ya tro no ho a something that had been written in contextualizing it no obi beka say eye brofo. My comprehension of a statement may be different from your comprehension, but it is the same statement. And when they are to mistake to say conform, I was just trying to tease something out to teach somebody something. Say, what is the difference between make and aid? It can make you, it can aid you. I was doing something. Now me dey chiradi and I'm say yes, and conform share opinion. Once any na I am wow, and I say bet me you. But when you want to go deep, go deep pa aid ni make enyepe. It's the constitution no ewo. Yes, this is the constitution. That is the law. Sa na ye kan no. But nti mu nti. Anything na ye ra amo. Ayewa so West Wagon. Ye tu abawie ye a ye quarter 3 years, 9 months, almost about 5 days. Again just about 3 months. Answer ye buo say no na afa de ye ni say duly elected MP for Iowa so West Wagon. And the constitution now constitute make some small parliament. Because me did seminar marine. Enti ye say davre achisebeano ye de embra enero. Enti speaker de okan me ditum. The constitution is so aka no Supreme Court na wotumi ni so ye nyina ye ngintum o si stay de se wono me de me nti asem law ni de me nyanwie. But the law is saying that stay of execution, fatu answer, which means go back to the old one, let that old status quo remain.
Enti ho say Supreme Court aka ne sa no say speaker back to parliament no because Supreme Court say gina say enti the abidi kan no matwe asan asan na tumi aye adwuma ana say Supreme Court kan ye no aye adwuma automatically.
Supreme Court kan ye no aye adwuma automatically. Automatically because say me ne wunya asem ne ye kokota me na me se mama uska wo se me fa ma ya kokot ana have court hey Jacob na odiscan ma tituaneka won kan kire me say me wan fa ma me intimi ntua o kwatwe enra manso ni biem court na akasa ubeji atum anything na Ghana na do dan Kwaku Ado all the evidences were clear. I was part of those year document ye say na nado it is never possible say presidential candidate ebe beating MPs over 500,000 votes but you see what 2012 Abuka MPs ni na vote bomo the Reverend Domani Muhammad Chi ni mu no it was over 500,000. By the end of the day no Nanado dia or the beating the MPs no it was just about 1,004. It shows you say a bomb. Internet there was something wrong. By the end of the day Nanado ye change why no what to me so okay adia ye can over 8 months onipa ba ko prove ni minim oye an no ka say in the case is what quashed yabagu
nipa ba ko na kan na say
the court jury no but nipa ba ko pe na make pronouncement
so
o men ka say ono no o take united decision
say na be obi ntia say
nipa ba ko pe na e kasa ma nipa 9 na o dey 9 yes 9 on the bench how much one nipa ba ko pe o make it that 8 months of litigation 5 minutes of pronouncement but Nanado say nanka enyeme de and one of catch say me metiwe minya enganda me bai na ye show ya engade mpesa me yema UTV phone coming to me by the end of the day minya nka me ye nanso ekwan ne den Supreme Court akasa enti me say article no say ye correct to enye den me so de ye me ni je wo ho pa ne say ade we be me ye nya nchechire mu pi because who can say me am no ya adwene kakra me no nya adwene si sa samba ko ne tumi didi obi but obi ye vendi no anything na obi hu say obi akowia body saw sa body saw no kowia ni amani 10 years but obi so kowia ni amani 4 years because the circumstances of stealing are different and in every law and its application no we look at the context of it sisiano Supreme Court and answer Parliament Article 97 plus 1G near the end. Yes, ye kind of brofua. Ye beke say ye kind and say ya net ye. But embranim for and answer a judge for a lawyers. I can say there is the spirit and there is what the letter of the law. Each application kind. I've also written here. The application of the law at a point must be dealt with common sense. Application of the law at certain points is done with common sense to avert any issues. I bet to me okay binti now what the agenda to know say sa papa you see the case be court and as obi ya dey be no dey court je pray je ni shedi no say akwema remind no though it was a civil case but also be remind no and no remind the guy no and you charge you and a judge no frɛ your lead counsel no catch and say monday mo abi nka youthful exuberance na mo dey aba court ba me so mesuam bra no makɔ akire mu nue ye gya no mo koda ni vi ade be kye abu na kunu enti on massa judgment no just to save the guy's life but you didn't just say that one remind no enti application of the law at any point in time there must be that principle of common sense which is to show say me this assembly here aduma chinchia and I like one statement to be making here. One of our painful making here say, yes, but the equity articulated me, I had an issue with it because me still me will issue be a menem. So be to me free her. I go contest with her. Yes, one na constituency. Sandy Pana MP wo contest with for your jana man contest. I still have an issue with it. Me tell you I have an what is this? But the application of the law until say be a mention make to me aye emblanimu ni make me atembra na siye na me hu de ntia mpanifo to me ma sa gina pono etumi si pi no ebia menti ase no be de makan ana de mehu pen enti ye be jam mra no ma na ye adwuma but in all this media mesre ye mu say the independent arm of government no they all cumulate under the umbrella of the law and the interpretation of the law is only done by the Supreme Court. So we respect it. Say the be ya enti beba na me the appeal so ama both sides of the divide on the floor of parliament. Say you say ye keka mafunu no na ye keka madampra. Na you say awonde fo mienu ko no na yem hihye na de ma achiginafo because obi to me him ne sasa no bon global ko a na de ogire tire ni ma hye say ye bu na ku no baby ana wo ho den wakoje dra de ku obi benya akoma yare no de ewukwa enam wo nto kwanti ye besere mo baby ye dri enye bra ye twi da bra se ye twi e de agina chinchia chin se ye na ewi ye ma Ghana efipam eni nesidie ense yakomam na ntire se yago ye ho wa ha na ye tu anamo ama 40 is it like 43 days 43 days ye tu abewia asundwe beba na ne kwakwa no o say Abraham Machibuati kama asemi mame o say the intent to contest is futuristic and a judgment on the future is not right. Yes, me decide some person ye we obi betumi aka say aka 3 days to election must step it down or step it down one, which means the decision to be in the 9th parliament has not materialized. And such decision no at least the Supreme Court na chere say we taking decisions about person about 9th parliament and now we 8th parliament ni mu no what are the consequential effects? Say ye hu anu a na ye judge ni sisi ape e be je say ye bu aten ama na mo a ebia me won gina ese metumi atwa san because me makoma mu no minim say ye ra lanchemante obon pa ese MPP mi ni ida be hey me so no say I miss it is like a man cross my okay you go buy MPP my channel say you run lanchemante be was sport only sport or short for movement for change yes you enti ya bomb pa say o win movement for change be win kwa so bomb pa say alali win da bi me say me o me bomb pa say o win na le no bomb pa say o win say no ye nua no na ye de nua no unya ne tu dia pa de na so enti de me case ya ne say we nyina achi no enya bisuade e ma nipa bi a wo tumi anase wanya akwanya udi ade anim wanu kasa ebetuma ye fipam ayembrahye atowa ma wo kina I would never. It's a word that they be able to me mum say ensida man can be that. Okay. Can I know na nka wadwe ni say atu osimesi ti me twe no da awe ma na ye obentin ya. There beto obentin no osimesi bia no wanka bia mo.
Me da se papa benasku me da se na lawyer Yamson Pastor Bekansa ya wakwaba. Your Excellency ya hwe baby adre no ya tie from political lectures point of view and yeti muso a lawyer for so muso point of view and yeti yen no so ja yen ko law school ye da yen political yen so dem odamu yo for so yen so point of view baby adure no utie professor Dr. Machibuati o say agese speaker samba na shebedwam ebe ka se gina si amedi kan see ya Supreme Court kan say no matwi Judiciary assign ansana yetumi aka say majority nie minority nie say speaker kan ye dia ene na baby ogina odi okan ye a omode sori ye no ehwa ena ogina sana mo hunu no sana mo si gina isa mo party ne say ko ba se bi yes parliament back before election bobo occupy the majority side 10 minutes me da say
Jacob na wo fa asefu na mma wo ha na etiefu na hwefo yikian
ojo so
ozikan na mem da na shalaye kobochi
yes
ya da
yes
one of bomb per man na ma this is the first time an African has become the Secretary General of the Commonwealth.
And that's the matter obaso.
The first time a woman. As a diplomat, I'm very, very happy.
Yeah.
Because in many ways, Abobwa, Ghana. Banasco, you hear that I didn't say I'm not in the same political party.
Yes.
He's a Ghanaian.
Yes.
And I must be happy.
Very well.
Of that.
God bless you for that.
So I can Jacob now.
Yes, Excellency.
And you raise issues before I go to my main discussion. The Bujumbura murder, the recent blast, a kum,
Nipa 3.
Nipa 3,
Nipa bet over 30 pre-prior.
the pre-prior Senko for Dino. It cannot be accepted like that Piati Wana. Those who committed that crime, no, it cannot happen like that again. Because Ghana ni bi anko China enko blasti enko Chinese kotrempo emefa na wonche no. And I am very angry about it. Listening to the NADMO coordinator for the area, who doubles as also the PRO of the company. Tio, the NADMO coordinator now district one SIA PRO for the company.
Company na pay abono. Wow.
Very serious.
Coordinator.
NADMO coordinator.
Like your constituency organized that visa because that's arrangement.
Etino.
Not all cases.
He saying so that I say and company for say my hema asam no etwa so. The amount for me have accepted said the road must be constructed. You all believe the road must be constructed, but the murder of the 3 persons, you know, should not be swept under the carpet. And I hope all of you agree with me.
Sure. With the power.
Apiati, you come nimpa bebre sink of what dying $6 million. Intino, we kept quiet as a country. $6 million. Inti, they kept quiet. This is the second time. There's no consequence. So we keep piling this nonsense on the people, on whose behalf we struggle daily, say we are representing. So some way, Minister be back home Yukuna get to form. Is that come now? So Minister be back home, not to come Bujumbura and a born a papa no we are and can you say you have to form. Are they? Who speaks for the ordinary man? All we are interested is in power. And unfortunately, on the 7th December, we are going to queue again to give our power to people who will not protect us. But let's go. Tell the president, say, the Kaswa Medan, it should be his concern. At least by now, he should have visited the place or commented on it. When it happened in France, he did comment. When it happened in the US crime fire, he commented. It is not fair. It is not fair. Then on the 7th December, we go to the ordinary people for their votes. It's not fair. Who construct your road? Fine. Why do you seek Anamiwa? You are going to be paid. Must that cost my life? Who on earth, in his right senses, may blast him a war in the afternoon? And say, Papa, it would have caused professional negligence. So, as a technician, you know when to blast. And then we need the efficacy of the diamond now we use to say a bit near also such
distance. So
that's professional negligence. And the control. It's not.
It's not
good at all. It happened in Apiati, nothing happened. At the Ghana, your life in Yana. So Chinese could put a gun and you need a cheap. Oh, and the MPs are quiet. Politicians are quiet. You are all quiet. Then we have better near a street light, say street light in Ghana, and the air couldn't go for the accident. Madam for workers also minister come on street light. Yeah, the best said
street lights are semi crano. The current interior minister. Henry Cotti. I don't know original minister. No, about the so many 20,000 street.
Papa.
Ofri wa kwa ya the current regional minister.
Titus
Grover. And also say you 20,000 street light bulbs. And also Kabashimene.
Banasco. Aquabuchida. Such a highway like the Tamamoto way. Can it be dark as that?
Mother, I would live Swa, Banasco Square.
Oh, no.
So, when the cassette rabbi
is
Banasco, you either free, who could call once and you support this.
If you also so. Ne erefa under that Chimota bridge na bridge yellow you see the darkness there
baby
what is this
unfortunately
but they all can but they all can 100%. Unfortunately, yes, meaning say monitoring is very important, but the mental aptitude of as Ghanaians, so you still training me motorway. I almost intentionally knock somebody. And we are cable.
But that's cool.
But you don't get people to support you.
But that's cool.
Yes, me ko jina ya nekam de ka na pem no. And you jina say yes, you apprehend no. We rather go there stand by to feel say yes
security personnel no. And now
but that's cool. As somebody in the police war.
Yes, exactly.
Say here ko demonstration na. You benya police 5,000.
No go. It was I agree.
Police 5,000. More about protect demonstrators against Galamsey. You can get policemen to do that. Not so. Yeah. What about between Tamamoto Way and a Tobut? Helicopter na yatoma police from the day. Cars na yatoma police from the day. Motors na yatoma police from the day. We corner
not fire go 2019.
Traffic light
all was fixed.
Traffic light yes in the police motors better things.
What do you want interesting? What do Achimota Forest wanna run about? So if Achimota school bar. It's now police for motors you are more
you see, I'm getting sick. I'm getting sick.
And
I would drive overhead bridges. Overhead bridges, potholes are very dark. Bridge now, between two bridge posts. No, lap, normally slab be at all. And comfort to two. And comfort to two. And here, that corner, so that bridge, give in. Minister for event highway engineers they pass there every day I did make on my near it yet to me okay
Accra Kumasi road ko heso e crack
hey simpa some fuck keep ko kwan so but that's when you krum konedo and crofo was so to tumbaba what to start here what to and they be suboto biala so what is this? Say on man says as some here can want some do for the whole week the word majority and minority. No say about it. Majority minority. No say about it. I am not going to take part in the discussion. Supreme Court judgment. What I'm not going to take part in it. What is happening is stupid. See, we have elected people, and we expect them to be law abiding. All right, we expect them to be law abiding. We expect the speaker to do his work. We expect the leaders in consensus building. Consensus building. Only there, say many our party for Muslim party for. No, Yabaka a man wants some. Yabaka a man no ya. It is not about NDC. It is not about MPP. It is about what is good for the country. Maybe I'm wrong.
No. Yes.
Am I wrong?
No.
It is what we are going to do for the country. So the issue of, ab initio, when the speaker decided then that there's a majority and a minority, I got angry with it. Because the gazetted record, 137. Now, if you bring in the issue of the independent deciding to permanently do business with NPP to the extent that what can vote every day, what can the membership not only for the vote but for his numerical strength, then the man had effectively crossed carpet. Are you following what I'm saying? Yes. The moment Isiama decided that I am doing business permanently with NPP, so it should be back. Now, for this issue, I think my independent judgment is that I should vote for the MPP.
Yeah.
Fine. And for this other one, I think I should vote for the NDC. Then he's being an independent candidate. But immediately he decided that permanently, I'm pitching camp with MPP. When he moved from there, and because of that, right? Why did he become the deputy speaker of parliament? He became deputy speaker of parliament because he was forced to align with the MPP. Okay, so ordinarily, usually the second deputy speaker, NDC, MPP. And look at our situation now. Both of them are MPP. How did that happen? How did that happen? Now, it's on Kuntum Poma was a few. The whole channel. You know, we live with an anomaly which we should have solved long time ago. And that is the consequences. You know, and what is the background to this issue? In the NDC constitution, say me pay Alanchamas Nasampa. In a way, you might have so Alan, I've known him for over 40 years, and I think you know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
In a way, you might have say as his running mate. Okay, but some people bet tonight I had now me start campaigning for Alan Martin when I am being introduced even as an NDC member. Psychologically, what does it say?
Yes, what you feel NDC one is, sir?
Today, what the Alan Martin need picture to Obini status was suspending it. What are the main critical issues that I see with this problem? Today, I'm making this in the same MPP constitution. No, so the NDC you have to go through a process. In the MPP constitutions, automatic forfeiture. Remember from our office now, we might have automatic. Automatic or
and the picking crime.
Automatic or
And then the ambassador of the
automatic partner to a letter.
Picking crime.
Make better as now the environment.
Automatic partner to a letter. I don't want to young Kuntoka, you know, because of our sense of humor. I take up now.
Yes, sir.
Marty, lawyer for what we school last year. What bay? When you pay you for and necessary confusion. The issue here is simple. Parliament a critic decision be. Decision in 1 year opposition the then minority 1 year wonder. They have a right to go to court. Nobody is saying that the Martin should not go to court. Now, court for customer, there's a process. I mean, as an old lawyer as I am, when there's a court on my order, execution about 7 days.
Yeah.
Okay. And an important issue like what would have changed the configuration of parliament on a minor issue. It's a major issue to the extent that it affects government decision. So the Supreme Court may not have been totally right when it admitted an ex parte motion.
Exactly, that I completely agree with you.
Because in many instances they have ruled there because of the principle that the other party must be heard. Right? Ex parte motions are rarely admitted. Not even in land litigation.
Completely agree with you.
Why should the Supreme Court admit an ex parte motion in an important matter as they split put this stuff for me? As this one. That's another problem I have. Now, Parliament ordinarily cannot be served. Any member of Parliament cannot be served with the judicial process ordinarily. But any law that prohibits or ousts the jurisdiction of the court or the practice of court is also unfair. So the speaker and the Chief Justice have agreed that, okay, we don't do business on Mondays. So you can serve any member of the parliament through a process on Mondays. Then I hear a young lawyer say, oh, there's 7, or there's 7, or there's 7. But on the 7, I call the 8. We are, say, if you are 7, somebody even outside the country, there's no process. So we are just confusing the ordinary person. The speaker said, okay, I've been served with the process. Parliament, let's convene. We are convened, we are. You see a speaker in the
Yeah.
You know, drama is one. You should be allowed. I wonder why a match pass. And I wonder, I find market. What want to bet today? We must my headmaster. I think you see a good time.
I know that some condo.
I'm facing.
It's only you.
Miss Onye, Sikana.
Minimum.
Yes.
This is not the first time I'm going to hear majority leader. Diana Murphy, the last week, Murphy, or say Chairman Sabo.
Listened to him 3 days ago.
Okay. Level-headed man.
Oh yeah, the Murphy, or say Chairman Sabunzu. Because when you're here, but the next experience better than Thompson. I have gone to Parliament. My country Chairman Sabunzu. On your Babylon, what you want with this? I'm here. I'm coffee. Some better Parliament. I don't know any. They need you want to Parliament today. One country in Ghana. Young phone now, one country in these non-people who be. This point must be made clear. And see, I mean, the master today I'm very upset about the Bujumbura matter. So I don't want to talk much. Make solution in there.
Yeah.
Parliament, like it's done in UK, should be declared government side and opposition side.
And your majority, minority.
Okay. Government side, majority side.
Government side, opposition side.
Opposition side.
No. The way you because your parliamentary system are practicing.
We
practice the system of majority and minority system. Where even an independent candidate must necessarily align.
No.
On the House of
and then necessary.
I was a member of the Constitutive Assembly.
Okay.
Let me give you the rationale. Okay. We pick some of the American presidential system, and we also pick some of the British system. Okay, but where our decision is causing such a problem, we then refer to a system obey peaceful.
Okay. I agree with you on that.
You understand what I'm saying? It is the laziness of Parliament not to have changed its standing orders to reflect the current situation, and our cause them problem. So you understand what I'm saying? If when this hang Parliament issue happened, the speaker and his people have said, okay, let them see to Article 97 and others how we are going to incorporate it in the standing order. We didn't afford what is happening. When I'm speaking as a Ghanaian. If you want to this, hey, catch a book of farmers no grace of money. There, fear situation, or yet tantan. No mum say a year and go home for saving. So ye year and about my baby on face of man kada Navrongo 14 years on kada Navrongo. My been there 50 26
is a free case when 419. Who have now come my person my window.
Anina says if you form one
madam you
only if you form one now I free education I perform to Allah. Oh my God, channel perform to
yes or a person.
Yeah, mami tio because we the tia I say no I nam krum yetie say that provoke your platforms ahodo bi so utumu say sa asem esi ye no ama nipa bebradwunu ma ayo mo na ade abufuhyiw bi so eba ase ahwe nsia no sa bere ye betum de oha aba de ntia me kasa de say no e kame say ye ya ma Supreme Court and parliament ye ka omuti abom
against the people.
Ebe ha adwene. And the bedu baby so no GDS samanfo nya hwe me twa bibi to ayi mami Sofia Ekufu. Former Chief Justice Bakansembi. Or see, it's very sad because our judiciary has become predictable. Or your former Chief Justice and Wakasa. What's here as someone
Don't comment on the court.
Supreme Court judge, former Supreme Court judge. That's someone okay no say is too predictable. And now what's here as some back also National Security Minister can the Pasco share judge from penny for a can or can say me say Kobase ebi atemu no eko wo fa bibria ebema krofo anya adwin ye de no to nchen owura gabi ochida akomia me nua kan sem bi in 2012 me pese me hwe na ka betumi abosoma na wagina so e di ayimano na sama o kan ye atemu no ko na wiye no na sama kan say Ghanaians predicted their ruling days before and exact is what they have delivered. Now that's what can say Ghanaians have lost interest in the judiciary. They tell me kotu sani me nyina ne say koba say bia yenya adwen ati sa awo judiciary no ho because Gabi nyi nipekuma o kan sasa no 2012 sabre no say former Supreme Court judge so aka the same thing say why too predictable and my atemu no adwumako no amafo gidi owo mu no enko fam ekoba se bia ochine bi no yabakosam bi asem bi accident enko fa ho bi amreye 10 minutes
eja me da se asem na obusa no ne ncha say ye bebre ba ma me starting fee senior fa hyehyɛ ya mamu any on mine no yeah because SS governance oko SS government class because there were 3 arms of government executive, legislature and judiciary and yenyina ensusu yemu no government ni nyina yate asese afanunu ya miensa and afanunu miensa nyina obi adwuma nko na adwuma na omoye no eboa oman adwuma niema miensa na meka fi ho just it's interesting say no more can bush ne or go case justice back on no sa panel no so I follow quite a scalar or paper be or tray about Americans loving the gridlock say sa fa no ni miensa no say institutions no be den omo be shia they omo shiani and is in the gridlock na enye floor and I say aman hihye yemu no gridlock ne ka ho na mpuntu ba ohye senior yesi ahihye judiciary is independent and constitution we are nyina ya hye no omo na yama constitution ama omutumi so omo kyerase very interesting they say application and interpretation the same thing because jamino no in day to day you find decisions and our public service now making decisions omunti ase our constitution no so into the may be na constitutional consequence no I was because Supreme Court because you busa say there may be na our constitutional implications make Supreme Court not just like I say decision obi abete gibia no I also oppose no call Supreme Court. I go and say, oh, me say we no, and no one tell say ye pe, and send obi aye na juma na. I go ban this ye teacher o my nye. Into Supreme Court and kasa ka say it's a court kuma na say obi no. Sa asem ba on chen na say eye asema enya ambiguous and na say ye nyina won ti asem no. Uzuzu say na mranete apply unless a question of interpretation comes now they are Supreme Court no achase on chase no asa dia bro no we be asem say nya nchase ne sitie into the dikan I also I can say application of the law is not the same as interpreting the law.
Sure.
And who here pass say you better say asem na say. It's a speaker, for example, kasa nenti asemu 97 ekere say ukojina anaufi u party adoba parliament mu ekere say we fima doesn't mean say speaker interpret the constitution. And answer or apply the constitution. Material lawyers be brave on where they interpret or the understanding of that. Misusu say it is an application of the law.
Okay.
Sana misusu.
And
interpretation of the law.
And I speak here.
If speaker in that case apply the law as he understands her, it brings the question of whether or not in law, typically in law, you could say obima decision answer now obima stay of execution no because the decision is executable and I say idea afa no obey and I say idea enyansiye because BBS okay sign but stay of execution ye afa na me be bibi nti twen so but the speaker apply law no dia na say the ebesi no esiewie unless say you're seeking to injunct the speaker, what is happened is already happened. If you're seeking to injunct the speaker, injunction process, because you're interim, you're interlocutory, you're permanent. Say you're interim, by ex party, but then no, you entire same say 10 days. In this application, no, even the Obusa Assembly for 10 days. To injunct the application of the decision for 10 days. Interlocutor nipakono wo case no so on notice no so yi na semano na the ebesie no Supreme Court and as whatever court makes the decision. A permanent assembly by ya ni aka say saying it here. I think that for many people where they find fault with the decision the case is brought up. But it appears that an interlocutory injunction is being made.
No? Yeah, what can say be? What they mean to one? What can say be say? Speaker, apply the law. What interpreting law? No. And it's a what see said the can ya. Now, former Supreme Court judge Atuguba Samoa can say, the Supreme Court to AN is say no. Meaning as well, it's say speaker wa interpreting law no na mo or applied law no or one wouldn't I
think that they may come because inside there is application but I'm building the point.
Okay.
Say me administratively me there now so say it has consequence our constitution ma bibia is won kwan say obeko Supreme Court akoka say Misusu say menene nyadwe nti because menene nyadwe nti kirewe ase. The Supreme Court, even arbitral panels, arbitration and judicial system in itself, no, and man kasa would decide say or jurisdiction or not. Jurisdiction you say me who to me say me tia na. Into Supreme Court of all people, of course, decide on their own jurisdiction. No, be the say Supreme Court who knew to me say uti and now who to me say uti. Supreme Court itself to me so Becca say you've probably invoked my jurisdiction or otherwise. Inti say obi akko Supreme Court say uye way Misusu say there is a question of interpretation. Inti chiremra way na say no, there is nothing wrong with it.
Okay.
Supreme Court tum so obechiremra na say no. There is nothing wrong with it because that is their exclusive jurisdiction. The American say the consequential order before say obechirasia to say decision away and run which has effect you have the right to apply it in your here. But mechirasia na eko enimu no saying ya say ejuma. But answer na mechirasia no the consequential order say there why no some causes a mechirasia no. That is where many people fall the decision and I think that there may be some legitimacy to it. But the yeshisha no say Supreme Court and the better constitution where I say if we say there needs to be was a assemble we so obi aka say de me pe na meye e na say me Supreme Court nya adwen de me pe na meye a oman ni begu enye yi so there must be institutional settlement the change nyina say so obi ni obi nya adwen a e wo so obi e na kire na de obeka no nyina ya gitum say me no nya adwen but yenko yanim because on our to me into Supreme Court and as a judiciary to me no it is final and binding if even you do not agree with it and that is important because otherwise our democracy will breaking into Supreme Court can say ma only who to me is our say me ne nya adwen into me fa nya adwuma sebi I'm part of the people faulting say be the ex party but you're still bound by it right or who can say go back to the court now vehemently disagree with the court and I say seek to make the case before the court but we need to respect the court we need to honor and enforce the decisions of the court otherwise yebeka say be obi apa obi anya me ne court nya adwa me pen na me ye yeba ne sa oman no would break it but that is not to say the institutional independence should be compromised and that is where the conversation and no enema dreadlock no humbe here no because the parliament is independent and now executive is independent na judiciary is independent niti constitution ni mo be to me question in say to me anu be si he me to me anu be si he that ye be share no a then we debate to find baby ye matumi ni si a ebebo o man no inti say to me ni be share that's the typical dreadlock enye bone is actually important senya afa if anu ni enu betimi ahu say misumi o to me your constitution o to me your constitution ni mu to me ni say obe check constitution mu na de obe kan bia final but unya ye ni say you realize that you create a political problem and the political problem now are creating as a parliament akot na fie obi busa me na no say the MPP side can they go to court and omo sheketini say speaker and fair parliament ana oh sre because misre untimi nyasa and the moment you realize say you irrespective of the judicial measure you acknowledge say parliament will to me no you realize a problem na legal problem in kwa and I think until we acknowledge say be problem ebe o ma bia mu problem ni nyina anya mrankwa emrans and the ebehye no sit on sociology sit on political science sit on science sit on economics sit on efficiency sit on operational management inti mano try say near koso no you be reduce it for effectiveness but bibi emanage ebo bibia ho ban but bibia anya mra
sure
emran na ye fapem ewo bibia but problems ni nyina anya mra inti ye hunu ni say part of the problem may be say bi amram no yente 97 and 55 and 112 ase kire ase Supreme Court say bi adwuma no but ye hunu ni say the institutional independence of parliament may be what is at stake because say if incursions and say me so da ha na ofa na man ka hwe a ebi o tena ofa me so a obefa me phone account ebi a ofa me phone kan wo tena obefa me constitution dia to so mienu say ma ye hu na ofa me constitution ebi a obo masum vini ane ka say ora ne wo de che me ebi a na me so be black belt nti o me ehia ho ase ho ye sign line o vivi
o so mu che o enfa
o da bi ase ho
say ya wa bosan so
ase ho na ala na
ni mo se wa so ya mo me se
ya bosan so ne wo tie be si for
your kind yes
institutional powers and independence. You can say you strengthen institutions, and what does it mean? You can say your problem, your weak institutions. What does it mean? Into your case, weak institutions, and what we must be careful in this case, and they say we do not compromise the strength of one institution for other because of the gridlock. Gridlock, no, as soon as they say we will debate and find solutions, sometimes including legal solutions, but more so sociological, political, efficiency solutions. I remember on minor conning. Inti lawyer for one lawyer, Sam. Omunko court and the Supreme Court will respect the court. We need to respect the decisions of the court. The court has a duty to also say the MPB braino. The attorney say only the nyadri cry also diso.
Yeah.
And that will continue to be so. But what we need to prevent, ne say ama for the amemfe ebejiatum. What we need to build is goodwill in the sense that people will not only omunjintum keke but omubejiatum say atentene any justice is what the ends of the law is. Inteja make a man akosi no yen na ye hunu ne say the esi no esi wa amanfo for so bebre. The esi no is a functional part of democracy.
Okay.
The esi no sana wa say ye Esa and say independent constitutional bodies now more to me whether as coordinates the Kasa government 3 branches no the gridlock is bound to happen.
Okay.
But the also share solutions for the efficiency of the state. Sometimes legal solutions, but sometimes political and consensus building solutions as well.
Me that say.
Consistency.
Yeah. My memory was 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Now, yeah, sorry. More press conference. But now, more press conference. I'm say, and then Nansa. Now, more press conference. I'm here. No. Communication.
What else have you listened? How is wrong?
More press conference. Now, press conference. I'm must say, more intersect. Diabolic plans behind this fire. One more person. One more the area. What the reggae 2024 election? You're 33 minutes, but I'll give you 10 minutes. Then the muhu ye. And no, the mamu yes press conference. No, the mamu ye. Robo tuma categorize na mami na for watching you more. Kameda was pa. Me more 10 minutes.
Yo, me da say. Edika em say, Eja. So you so ne and nkomo ye die no. Me bi say Ghana bi bia ohwe na otie no. Ebe hu say ampa empempenso aye di no. Ye hia Ghana as oman a ye nyina na ye chechire na yama oman no enya ne nkanko. Nti I'm very happy and we are all learning a lot, especially the angular era some PLA de buy no. I think say it is important say ye behwe. Na wo mo a omo to chem e wo saa akwanhia na esi ye ni mu no. Ye pe atentene ni a ehuhia na ECP edema wom. No question say enze abrante na ye interview no ka say blasting no ka brena na wo say ye no kra no na nka nya no. I will come to the question you asked. But it is important that this is a social issue. But that is the rule that I apply every second.
Fantastic.
It's a rule that I apply every second. In India, I don't know blasting maybe I'm it is a two bia I will say a bomb na your canopy. Into where the message phobia was some mutu anamon. Na mama attention ni bia so munyano omunyano e ade hunya. You remember say Canada for me no bi said on Ghana yes so mayira. You saw what happened because they care for their people and the people we are governing are the people that makes the nation. Into ade will say omutu anamoni. Na the way blasting it is unfortunate. You don't put sawdust on this thing when you are blasting. Tiny you suppress the power to fly. Because a rubber no will not allow you to fly that much. I
hope so. By next week, you will come over here.
Yes.
You better call me. I call so far how far near the pay for
now, we say ko fire chinti. Let's remember your mama. Shall I go botry abaso? Sure. Meanwhile, I'm say abato. Any esunsun so any and one motu no. Akwan bia na say we political party we do when to form. Ebedu brebi bia o ye se abrante me pese me no kontokwa wa hyehye wo ho se woni ne bebo twede nanso wo hwa abrante na ogina hodi ahese ntokwa no on pese obeko so mo mienu nyina na matwero match se wo obi na wo ye se ana mo anhwe ni yi a wo se wo ma wutiri mu po no ususu wana muntu na wo hwe yi says Sabia no, yes, or the Nissan ever bought the name of a bone or the action in them, so be the baby with him, which is unlawful. Indeed, MPP as the corner because they are unlawful. They say you were agreed fight. Then they say boxing is unlawful, but boxing is lawful. And I said they do the India, lawful, but you make them through a sort of and then to Quano, he had the Bijim. Indeed, MPP as a party didn't need to form a shame who say NDC as a political party. They mapping a certain form of strategy. We are main first strategy in Metruja, but we are only alerting the EC and any other political party. Say because we've seen them before and we know them. In 2016, something 22 something happened. Okay, the famous 27-0 and all that. It happened because of a deliberate plan. But however, I have
explain the 27-0. I explain.
27-0. Figure near 270. But in words, it was written 27-0. Meanwhile, the polling station now, some particular election, the course no total number of votes 114.
In which constituency?
It's in which constituency? Oh, in the central region. That's my own constituency.
And which party won?
And this one. And this one.
You're welcome.
The mechanism of Supreme Court, you must see how that notwithstanding. Anything I'm doing the word and any actually no.
And you know what tray and when they tray a year. Easy
returning officer.
Return officer.
Yes, returning officer.
Okay, return officer.
Yes, returning officer. But the mechanism say whether the returning officer, I be to say football. Me who see abobo a yashegu na ye jubilate we na referee a deliberate offside 1 year. Na ye pon match na ke say referee na je offside nti go na wa hye na ye kutwem ye ntwum da ya hye wawi.
Nti ede na
me me bobo na me disi ni say me ma wo nhye.
Ede na wo hu ye.
Eno na me
wo ka ba no mate.
But me de me sinipi. Nambum de make an say temye de make an say only obi kwa can say na me that scenario of twede no ebe mu ebi abortion is because you look at it the campaign of the NDC subject based yemfa no man to Ghana Ghana for say these are the policies we are bringing one bisa by the end of the day the person tells you say oh at any cost me win
me and some can me person me two as but can say me yes me bon
what's na wala bre asa no first complex wala
I can pacho ability musimo hu say o ma ye niam bi asa na ma na o ma ye no ebema o mo dia rege election o mo be wia about
NDC started with this issue of transfer of vote. I say your mod kika hu sempi at the end of the day ye tina say dey need to wash mu ye no what rather transpired uko mention south na den na say na rather they are transferred people are any say enkomo ba ho NC ABC we aduma kwanya na sia mo say there has been an overwhelming number of people bi o mo akwakoshim na EC need the explanation by. The bottom line is that when the EC itself came out and gave explanation to it, yakoshe muno na say directly mum de na NDC ne ka no kra no enya no kre na mbom attempts were made to say ye benya nipa from mababeshim ebisi we duma ko ebisi wo menhia eno nti na make say enye se midwi metina papa mu nka yes that is why the speaker said
yes no NDC for na kokoye privately and I say secretly and I say only in connived with the EC officials.
That is why we are saying say enti asema penini kenyi na awie no say enti ye ni da ho de fi ye ni ko na ya twemu se enema bi a ebechi mehye sumase a ebetumi aha na ebema ginesi Ghana fo besi enye na beba bededi no ye besi ano. And that is why I believe in the system say vigilance at the polling station is the most important to win an election. And I agree with Fesi Edungeti. I will say elections are won at the what? The polling this man, what's the name? Afarijan. So elections are won at the polling station. What's the meaning of structure? Into when you really elections are won at the polling station. But this call to let it be known, say there are hatchet plans are NDC. No, why not doing some media campaign? One of my deputy directors, trust me, and up many say, was you are Mahmoud Baumian and voter region. They were Napunam ha, Naile Namha, Winam Hano. until Odinanka, whatever be atina. Until Jane Kanye, who do not fund or suspending the election, the campaign there. You right, Muhammad, the aggressiveness also the same as an opposition party. What is the
strategy or the other campaign?
And it's in a yes,
a Slobian sorry the campaign for.
Yes,
and I'm a boy.
it was
here. Maybe I over Persebia, over Tubrika, Obosuma and Sobena. But when you be a first or the end, and I'm a boy.
And with all these things, what the party is saying is that whatever the case may be, you need help. And that is why we are calling on all the other political parties.
William said the Bayanaka, you beat to me and see what's on Nasi Pano. You would say NDC, I abed the AFG. Sanamana Wayano, let's say, and a Mutum so would we are Benomo. It's a magana for you now, Domina Trump say, I dear way ya Moka Yano, yet the debate was so much me. I am a bit of mamma, just a highlight of. Oh no, we did the Momo transfer, what chunk of Fogum, my head, at the end of the day, your partner has a question we and one a bubon. Ebina Mitchell, your partner here, ye shame we and young say, only pana or cassette, where you conform, where you conform, on the certain I must pronounce a cost we have been gumzo. What I say, all these issues summed up, and the party work me, I am dwelling on the conclusive statement of the party stance. Say inti obi biama na ninya den and now. And do you believe in rigging of election?
Oh, for me, yes, rigging of election can happen in so many forms.
Believe in rigging election.
Be it say anytime you are not vigilant, what is rigging in its first place?
Most say of rigging. Now me say so do your
when you see an election, results are pointing to this direction, but maybe declaration goes to this direction, or at any point you will term it as rigging, right? But the activities that leads to it is the most paramount. Anything you say, Obibiana or what stake in this election, and you're extra vigilant on whatever activities are is in the air, be it your call for auditing, whatever. These are all deliberate attempts to sway the EC's attention on the activities are here. And until you say, your best say Obia man and Yenya and now any attempt Obia any hatchet plan Obia fan, it will not materialize.
And this is for someone is in a carbon send about mobile about to.
Yes.
You see, I'm so much more can say, and this is for baby abenomo. One was so many years for the carbon may be a moo. And now I say, on the Omon Kwan baby without that assistant from the EC.
What the party has said, and me, I will still maintain my stance there. I dwell on the final stage. Say, vigilant at any point in time is key.
And this is for say money easy carbon, we are
but easy for
most say and this is for person we are benum. One we are separately as a party, and as many easy for the carbon may we are because we tell some can say the EC I'm not for any home. EC is an entity headed by somebody. The attack on the EC chair is from the NDC. By the end of the day, the EC war a friend is saying Mention South. And the chairperson Anambwa. The same thing has happened, I think, in the northern region. Was it Pusiga? Yes. Specific Pusiga constituency. The same thing happened. And these are the things we are saying. Say NDC, they say when they say, Baboneno, Ekosua, into Biama and now, and that is where I would emphasize. Nankwaka say vote ni bi abro so wo ahanti enko hye audit no one at the end of the day they negotiate wo menshasa so rigging out what church we what you see pa
no
so what see press conference they say na Benasco abi church mu ya rigging what you see
leaders lead and followers follow the part now here press conference here gbananga so when we church we better na Benasco abi church oh yeah or mo ye meet ya press conference o ma mo na mane
no Benasco mane
o ma mo na mane enti wono no want we church we better na Benasco church and a total waste of everybody's time what so when who say obi abopo since 2021 tieni yo ana watena ho ye dabe October and I know assembly parliament and I'll be catching say I'm intend this on regulation through a parliamentary proceedings. Say say parliamentary work. You see, election 2024, it's not about rhetoric. So me no ka say me ba ma me bi wo kwan ho ne mba be fo di o media no pe mu ni etinya regular sem about message akwakoton two political parties omuni asembia banas konko fo iko ya eno an ye wo sisi fia bi eye campaign o kadia konfo eye free SHS eno an bia no pe wa beken but the real issues are there apato na ye koto no yesi mwani nda ho indi ye nim se omunya ombe wie ro ala nchema titi ye prepare essence wa bo homodi ade ade compensate reggae ujeja ho a ye bewia asema ya gbaka no wonder say onka communication team no campaign communication no meten nka che
say onya kwahia
oba yi answer obenya kwahia nya me kra na dana se wa mana nya yi na otewo aniafo bi foforo so onka sama campaign no no ti ba bi onya adwuma ni bi sam ayi modern mo awon mo no modern ndi yan fa na nka campaign no kra ayagba
o mo no modern say
o mo no modern because who do me because a political party like the New Patriotic Party when we go for Baba Wiabem who national security who national investigative bureau who all the security apparatus who me go swag go for Baba catch me Baba catch me go here there me go TNDC and am on there and now no pussy got ye see ya chi go for yi say abaye te so wona wo attorney general prosecute nyoma adana branch e no say isi ni yem prosecute no international ye jano ba ni nyira Ghana fo mo ntiase na mo ntiase yi say sa parties me no o mu ni ade pa bia ma ye be din ka kachiro ene service ye ye no tot
enti ujedi say press conference o mu ye ya bosirmu kani
total waste of time total waste
there is difference between total waste of time and no kure wase mo
no kure o kan no kure bi kire o bezi balance ko tie o ma na bere ade no kure no ka kire o was we intercept document no wo ya e da so hye na motu ayaga pese ye ko bona pempe ma sa wa kire ye se no wo ho ade afa kuma security agencies na obi be wia na ato na wo fa kuma security agencies me kwa nke be boa me asa independent obi a be support independent candidates because yenya ntitie bi se Asante Mantemo ne Eastern region ne Western Central ye winning massively no conform be so omunyo mewia ye but yenya so ni gide ne be ye be train agency ye be fa wo mo engongo gya demudie on election day because sikane wo man makodi nkofo bi botom a o ma park egu o election day o mu be release to do agent kwa ni aton ene no se kan wasem uko school bia na akoto si atro speak English and I say school ni en gabrofo obi a beti se wo ka se ana gofu be so obi on le pese wi o di ko mana obi kokwa de device ya illegal transfers a omo ko iPack na MBB ka se dabi isi ni omo ma yen kama na 1 GB na gauti ye yakwa ko hu se illegality bi esi of voter register mu ye nyira ye mo ani incline mu no ba ko se dabi ye nya ne sa na we sani pa mi nu we wo mu nya ombe wia wo mu su nya ombe wia ba ye ne de ne se ye ni be da ho essence o ma mbo homode ana omde ye ko me de to aso you see election 2024 mo bia including the media ma mo nyama bi se mo be force so two political parties honest
aso mu wi ni o mu ba ku wi ni
a possibility but the attempt to force the NDC and MPP on us no wrong just natural justice na more tamper with say ye kwa to abani pa 13 na ballot no so bia kwato on message na ye pese ye yi nkofo tu e de say ye kon
chana mi hunu no
clearly so the actions of members of the MPP just say omo winning your mind ayeko botwe ye wa ye oni confidence say NPP e be win election me bora baso Daniel Frim was secure for the future but we did say MPP be win akoko pe
dream big
who the fast lady ni woman ni so fast the whole come woman that give mu the whole too much what you who Frim amebo futa that way
na ala ni go contest world trade president no
Satan ni MPP ni abem wo ye free ma abem na ogo baba mo wo betu aye adwai wo ya ma obi and now the core constituency Bremes kwa dia ya bwa Banasco who so any position wa bem na se mamie ye firi mu a wo se MPP be wini election
who say MPP wini
da bi omu wini ndc so wini ala na wini la se cham say the media must not make any attempt yen ye tell say ye the traders bank by and SSS for we school kala na administration ba na mandatory apprenticeship 1 year obi e kwa kusua insanu numa anye tailor a carpentry plumbing ni yi unsua san wa ko anim
ta be so the TV
why
government
abawi
yes excellency say mo sumo wo ajapade book number 2 na dey say na elu
say imponyi tamen ni manche de bia obasafo so what I say
yeah
as asafo won fatam what so be there so be who is talking Anyagba Anyagba himself is a candidate for jail for electoral offenses. You know he voted when his name was not on the voter register. Do you know that?
I have a kappa.
You remember? In his own words. He voted at the time and then he didn't register. No, there's a this people. Anyagba Free Hospital, the only target in the NDC say you are for your secret document. Ejapadi ye dey aba several times aba can come munsam. I'm challenging Anyagba. Say above MPP so do you still have the men? Say Anyagba na your director of communication MPP to call press because he can pay them money to come and say MDC for secret document. Where is the secret document and what are its content? Senior butterfly for some about mobile. Yes, we have boy who buy say ebe kokona pa say MPP be wini biom ma yes ya galamso edu say ye ba upgrade ma sika ye dey ma say fenti odo river say odo dey na ye it's west sika ye dey ma odo river $43 million ye ba upgrade to 96 million. So the MPP only me bobo who say me practice and also yasam
it's so no muso mutina
maybe so question say me no bobo kotokofo ni hats for bobo sometimes they say oh yeah first spice nko hwe wo training na wo ba hats wo mu training wo say wo mu training ti so mu be wi abanu Ghana gra ya kafahim campaigning obi a one strategy or the campaign onye de afa bus na educational is before I go on let me warn parents are what one by advert in political parties the law is against it. You don't use children for political advert. Because I read here, say abofani we school, na say party no a campaign no money. On your now power now abofani ko we juma. We have already branded the child. Say if campaign means ekejina nursing training na eyesisifia na esisa kwa nkoma hoba na to ayampia on campaign na Ghana for one year this time on the power for 8 years ya braintino Ghana you biara no know the form or say messages or say there our essay at the digitalization as eba and the committee American all instances of digitalization be our Ghana be what Abraham chrono yes SML ECG I don't force a regional Director General resigning. ECG for one systems are what did you want sika. Now saying about 4 years ago, you even got some more people to come and improve their capacity. As a kafa new system. so what you can order for a yaw nsem and son what you can go yi obodi is in account in na what on the percentage 4% poster yeah telephone yeah hello MTN funeral one system connected to NCA into normal of course be a NCA fu bonim aka for bi adabe shan finfin ho nso calculate
can the GVG
nso calculate o into sika do ba ban ho me de bo ho ban ho bran nso 20% sadiano so tunchen a na mo go fe say the way chire mu wakafa adibi so friend ejapade isn't ejapa
yes
no so royalties bisika biala gold biala organ here to infinity the Ghana so border say every a geological surveyor you have more gold underground simeyetu right let's say a true agreement there afa solo afa Jacob na afa Banas Coffee afa me account there forever this company forever gold in na yeda mo be 500 million na digitalization in at the bayan day Banas Co na mpemfo with him election I totally disagree there elections are won at the polling station I totally disagree. You need to be vigilant. But if you are not vigilant at the registration, yeah, 5 bia. They contest a bench now. Now, what's no team of 4 of them, 4 people. While here on a register him. So, Okona election now, on your 4 against 1 bia. Anambwa. So, registration, Nalampo account. Printing them Daniel Kachwan wa print 1 million extra sanya vigilant wo ha nso nka hu bia so elections are not won at polling stations.
Okay,
now to conclude Richard Handba, don't destroy your political career because in politics whatever you say today the internet doesn't sleep. Ochina it will come to hunt you. You Ahiyaba, like I said earlier, you are a candidate for a jail. Now you are turning around to accuse a political party to be criminals. Just because when a political party, yes or what party from those because you don't hear the SSA Kwame Nkrumah Roba. Because you don't hear that fear such around Yerika. Is that the reason why you accuse a whole political party that you're very elections?
Opposition party
to say you funa obey you bolbo say the one passing one olusu enje you bolbo say ba na drain ala no wa do olusu I want our government them was okay I want our government it will be a night everything. See when the this war document first publish it. Now I want to watch out. The intention in the document. No one watch out. One catching one. It's a press conference.
I'm so much keep put to their chest.
I a press conference. Press conference. The whole world listen to it. Now I catch how stupid the country is. What a stupid country.
But that's it.
How can a political party, a whole political party in government? Oh, don't press conference. They don't know where you free SHS where election Daniel prefect no okay MP and even your own
me that's it what the 2 minutes be penny I can make the party sitting in a we does that mean say yes in Nankasa or Hono party sitting in a yes in right I'm going to say yes in between I connive with them to rig the election because what's here and this year I'm saying yes in the MPP account and the PCV. They say no MPP so press conference on my end some more cano. I am and I said we no editing to me I just say money easy for the VM. It is we no yes the credibility at saying.
Yeah, me that say I think that Adebako have me pie in the partisanship. they say ahwe aban bia de ne court beba na aban bia de ne easy aba because we ba onji we court ndi nti no so appointing it there we ba onji we easy ni no so appointing it there there and say institutions no na weaken institutions no I think say almost say Judiciary na so ayanda nti ekamea say afanu ni mienu nyina esu say wa here oda ya ebetwa oti o oda ya ebetwa oti o omuni bibia mean because I'm not in the political party architecture but they make and say the EC as an institution no we should protect it and I am bold by as much as we protect the integrity of the court because eja enkaman nkosia EC na ebede eja say we na edi nkunima na we are edi nkunu the obeka no again like the court upe o the eternal no unji ntuma no akọ court nti I also you making sure say EC the integrity of the EC is preserved and I say yebebo EC ho ban ye nyina gidie wo EC no be konkai because EC gidie no ebeboa ye nyina because afanu no mienu election way is very consequential and I say who's and so on so probably one of the elections are very keenly contested but say tebia no ba ko na bedin kunim
yeah
say omo hihye na we ka say we nya obewia we ka say we nya obewia na say ye we prepping ye chidifo say there ebeka bi amenjintum and that is almost instigating a fight before it happens because NDC has always said EC ni MPP MPP so started what Kamea say obi e prepping e chidifo say sabanu ya anwene dia na chese ya wiem but that's not means to say there was a no of course obi amanani na ho because sebi Ghana and their one we've seen the cases over time inti obi amanani na ho and many honorable ya say election no is a process a process no means from day one mo any under ho yen kodru abato no say what with that because they no into obi amanani na ho obi am preserve it because mekoto aba they metoma ni bia I expect say he will protect my vote because I've honor me to me national nsa into na me ni agent or polling station no omo ballot no so na agent because ye be express your intention no say meto through ho sa see ho say mfifin ho but I meto bia me expect say dem me dia ma no obebo me vote no ho ban and obe make sure say mepe ye nyina ye kabom ni e kan a de ye nyina ye pen na beba so nti eja niam mienu we should preserve the integrity of the of EC okay. Na afanu ni mienu nyina mane nkame anko so mo omudi omachi ehunu ni say o ma anweni anache say ba ko awiem in terms of the communication strategy to mimic the Japa conversation no I personally think say sebi the odwen ho no ebia because you leaning into the Japa because there's no way you can have this conversation without having the Japa conversation which gives more credence to the Japa in a way that I didn't think that they thought about it into me susu yemu no if it was whatever the political strategy is in leaning to NDC for a document no I don't think the thinking was optimum.
Okay, me that say. Well, ya brana ya bia ne sa. We dey na kai sorry na ayi we dey 2 minutes 1 minute. Ayi Raba bi oyisini. O say NDC for na fund mama musika. And say na be ya would be teacher MPP.
Abino Abino
Matadam Asa.
Let me tell you friend Abino Matera you see people must be serious in this country. That about a lady no must be very serious. Alan Chamante said you onye ene bana obia sorry na ordinary ave trapia. You start to say you work. Say you free MPP mu. Last year you work. I don't know how many countries say your friend say NDC ne e finance. We understand here. We know the MPP chairman ko diska. Onko afọ na omko ye kra le woman bi okuma say friend say Kali as a day, or also Sinitrefu. Okoji is Council Man 2,000 cities. Okoji 3.1 billion cities. Every MBB in 2016 or so, over 2,000 cities. It is a your business, at your business. Man who quite MBM farmer propaganda.
Okay, but that's it. And this
we need election, and this, you know, Obonu was casting any idea.
Okay, but that's it. Solomon Usu.
I say, Mule.
Solomon Usu.
I entertain you.
But that's it. Solomon Usu, that's my papa, so you have now buy it. Now, Banasco, so, but that was it.
But on a serious note, Mamifa educational issue in Trinity.
So there be a time.
But the message is say, what's our placement ebano? Once our FIEMA, Ubia for 11 schools. The normal 6. We are now 5. To where you see 11 schools, one away choose schools. Ebia na my first choice. Tenchinachi na me pe we menya. And then chese we in school.
Okay.
There's difference between the na me pe no menya yamama next one and menya school.
Okay.
Na parents bia so no said the yakano.
Okay.
The academic calendar hopefully starts on Wednesday.
Okay.
All things being equal.
Me that's.
Meaning say change baby.
This Wednesday,
Yes. That's only that has been announced long ago. The other year pending no.
Dr. Bedasi.
The situation was different.
Education minister now. No one about Bekasa.
The education is
na bra mini abra na be na amanfo nkomanto mu yem kakra banasko me da se ya so mpa me da so your excellency me da so ase na so so me da wase na anse na be sore so akono ene eye obi awoda ma me fa enu mfa mu tew na yen sore ene eye apeti Nicolina we a student o Unimark ene wa woda Randy say me kan che so ma happy birthday sanso ena miami ene yen aye efu amensa oh yeah editor UTV ene na woda ntie fo baby a wo bia no abusuafo ni nyina team ni nyina ba kamya ka ba da na critical issue ne wangina ka nyina se e mountain kwa edi ya se be ye ya enti fo baby a wo bia ne be show na mo kan se last year wo do birthday no wo ko ye ibi na de beto social media se this year so ye hu a ye ne wo bi ka fo mensa enti principle da say obi mpamidase Mustafa Munkala ena Randy ena Kantanka ena no chiribi Daniel Okito ena we your friend sempo ena edi na fe obo nso wa ha ogina wa share be gina hwe medi musa na fe dwa siate ma unso no pe medase antade ehemi hwan bio Daniel ena no and one atade shabi perfect man for the pound mami papa demu pa up and down sani e kano na colors in designs bebre obi a shape obi a sabe ka bi bomode na so to be from 0244 147212 na okoto gas nso amanwere fi sabe ko gas filling station bi e ba obi na okoto ho esanse LPG Marketing Producers Association of Ghana no womo eboa ama Ghana skasam atumi agina nti kwa gas no behwe cylinder no oha bi wo ho a obesisi ndi ama sika no enso se gas no ba fill no cylinder na makra na 10 cedis so 20 cedis so omo ho ma oni biefo ns kafo nyina omo ho ma nti ko filling station a oba fill ama na so tumi da kono aduane midin e de jakwabra yes sorry suwe kakra meka ani se sa sema midi kankan yansa ne ye dwumadi na se duro eba port na yenko yin fama manfo enum enfa nso mo yare no eyebuso na yebo sa dura me kan wasem ya isi abai no eyedura e be family planning edita mahabo 7 months adan ye ni sked kwakoko yi eto aso ye be sia adom do me da se ye be sia yakra mu nyina